Hey guys, it's Justin back with an engineer's perspective, and today I'm doing a mini review on this Kikuichi 150 millimeter petty from their molybdenum lineup, which is to say it's made out of a AUS 10 steel, stainless steel. It's of course 150 millimeters long blade. It is 28.9 millimeters tall after sharpening. I think it's closer to 29 from the factory. Its spine at the above the heel is 1.71 millimeters. It weighs 3.5 ounces or 100 grams. And its balance, which is probably not super important for this little petty, but it's right in front of that first rivet there. The steel, as I mentioned, is AUS 10. I don't see a lot of advertisement on the actual hardness of this, and it's mono steel, so no cladding. And I've seen some people say it's 59 Rockwell. After sharpening it, I'm wondering if it's not a touch higher than that. Maybe closer to, say, 60-ish Rockwell. So it seems to be pretty decently hard. From the factory, it came with a pretty good geometry. It's got, you can see on this side probably how thick that bevel is compared to that side. This one seems to have a 70-30 bevel, meaning 70% of it's on this side and 30% is on the other. And that's about 9 thousandths behind the edge at 17 degrees per side. I did this one thicker because I thought it was going to be a little bit softer and I didn't want to roll the edge, but like I said, it's probably harder than I think that it is. So, but good thin geometry. Sharpening it is where I kind of detected the hardness. I sharpened this on the Naniwa Chosera 800 3 and then up to the 3K stropped on a 1 micron diamond strop on leather, and the edge comes up. It feels harder than Tojiro's VG10 sharpening on the stones, but the end result edge and how fine and aggressive it feels is very similar to Tojiro's VG10. So the end result's probably going to be similar to most VG10 you've experienced, is my guess. And if you've got harder VG10, it'll probably feel a lot like this on the stones. So it sharpens up nice, moves relatively quickly, deburrs fairly well, and strops up really, really nice. It is soft enough to respond to steeling. So this is like the sapphire coated F-Dick steel. So the steel itself is 66 Rockwell. I haven't tried steeling this on a softer steel, but really with Japanese knives, I don't really recommend the steel that much. But if you've got one of these high-end steels that will keep this thing going, I do recommend stropping it weekly and then probably taking it to the stones maybe once a month or once every 3 months, depending on your preferences and whether or not you're using something like that. I bought this because my wife likes to use lots of very small cutting boards, which I don't have out, but as kind of you can see the profile is a mini Giotto style where it's flat, but it's flat back there, but there is belly up front. So I'll just do a cutting demonstration on an apple. So my knuckles do hit the board, but I am able to kind of use the front of the blade there to do some pretty efficient cutting without needing a bigger blade. So I kind of pinch it at the square bolster there to kind of give my fingers as much room as possible. And I do a lot of work with the tip, just like that. So there you go, cutting up an apple. I did want to mention the handle is very nicely rounded and like sanded down, but there is a little bit of fitment issue right up here, very similar to actually how a lot of Tojiro DPs come. So I'd say it's not quite Tojiro DP quality of fitment, it's a little better than that yet, but note it won't be quite perfect. And then of course the edges are quite a bit nicer than on a Twojiro, not sharp, but they're not totally rounded either. So keep that in mind. I personally, to utilize this full length, is I like grabbing on that squared off handle and then using that front bit to make contact with the cutting board. So it's a very nice petty. I think it's a great utility knife. I like to use it in hand a lot and, you know, cut things as I need to. I don't know, you wouldn't do that, but just an example. So yeah, I really like this petty, and I recommend you go check it out for about $100 as the date of this video. So that's all I've got. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Bye.